My name is Jesse Sapolu. Played for the San Francisco 49ers from 1983 to 1998, so about 15 years. Played offensive line, offensive guard and center. Was a Pro Bowler at both positions. Was able to be lucky enough to win 4 Super Bowls. With the data that I'm aware of now and the understanding that we have now, I did have, concussions. But back then, it's how fast you can identify 2 fingers, compared to 4 fingers. And even as far back as high school, I got stunned a couple times. I find myself getting to the point of being on the edge, of being angry, and I played this game. I love the game, but maybe I'm starting to pay the price for it now, and that worries you. But coming to this treatment has given me some of that confidence back.
Hi, my name is Judy, and before I discovered Dr. Dubin, I had a high level of anxiety, namely from very current PTSD, and also had a pre-existing concussion in my past. And my symptoms were mainly anxiety, just a general overall, always had heart palpitations, and ADD. And what I noticed most profoundly after the very first treatment was an instant sense of calm. My chest didn't feel like my heart was palpitating, and I felt very centered. It was life-changing for me, absolutely life-changing. So I've told many, many people. I think I've sent 12 people to Dr. Dubin, and I'm still telling, just last night I had a long conversation with a friend who's a psychologist and about how it could help her practice with her patients.
Hi, I'm Leslie Miller. I was in 3 car accidents in 1 year, and that was back in 2012. A lot of things happened to me during the accidents. I had a traumatic brain injury, and I found myself with a lot of medical people who didn't know what was wrong with me. Couldn't talk, I couldn't stop crying, I couldn't think straight. Walking downstairs, my coordination was gone. I couldn't jump up in the air. Anything out of the ordinary would make me cry. And I'd work with neurological rehab people who assisted me greatly. And then one day I bumped into a woman who knew of you, David, Dr. Dubin, and she said, "This man changed my life." After I had the therapy, first of all, I couldn't believe it. I kept saying, "Oh, this is not real. This is placebo. I'm thinking, the power of thought." And you just sort of smirked at me and went, "No, it's real." I felt good for the first time. I had some energy, clarity, like all of a sudden, all of that confusion was gone.
I'm Issa. Before treatment, things were very different than they are now. Particularly my mom and I used to fight for hours. It would get really intense. Both of us would not have a way to stop, and we would remain mad at each other and upset. And I took my depression out on myself in the form of self-harm. When I would have anxiety attacks, or I would feel that I needed to take something out on my body, I didn't have the time to think. My brain was running a mile a minute. But afterwards, it was amazing. I had more of an open view. It was as if someone took the blinders off of my eyes and I could actually see the situation as a whole, and rather than just from my perspective. My mom and I now get along pretty well. We take every day as it comes. There's definitely times that we don't get along, but you know what? It's way better than it was. I've suggested this to multiple friends. I've suggested this to a lot of people. I tell them that it helped me a lot, that it really changed my life, probably saved my life, and that they should try it.
So my name's Scott Pilara, and I'm the founder and CEO of The Power of Choice, where we specialize in concierge addiction services in Malibu, California. Typically with addiction, you'll see a lot of anxiety and depression with an underlying addiction issue. Depression, anxiety, the impulse and compulsion issues that they often experience tend to dissipate substantially after about 12 to 15 sessions, and I've experienced this treatment myself personally. I've found that I become less reactive to outside environment and stimulus in a positive way. I feel more centered, overall greater sense of well-being, and so much so I've invited my fiance and her cousin to actually experience the work themselves too, and they've echoed the same experiences for themselves. And again, the sessions only last 15 to 20 minutes, so anybody can do it, and they're extremely powerful. You know, my hope would be that everybody would have the opportunity to experience it if they can.
I wanted to blow stuff up. I wanted to do things that no other woman does. I wanted to have adventure and travel the world and pay for college. It was before September 11th. I never thought, oh, I'll just join the military for a couple of years and I'll go to college. I never thought I would go to war. Well, while I was in active duty, I was Specialist Murray. We were reconning a mission. There was artillery attack, and I was driving the lead vehicle. The vehicle dove into the ground. The wheel spindle axle broke off the Humvee, and dove into the sand. I hit my head on the steering wheel right here, and there was large boxes of ammunition and stuff behind me in the seat. The back of my head was kind of smashed at the same time. I was in another accident when we were in Kuwait before war was declared. And there was our Scud missile attack, and that's when we were still there for weapons of mass destruction. And we just saw the Scud missiles. We were the first ones there. There was no warnings. I jumped off the top of the truck and ran for the bunker. We would bury a Connex in the sand and go down inside of it and put on our masks and our mop suits and kind of wait and see what happens. I would stutter a little bit. I was having memory problems, but I was having a lot of issues with adjusting, feeling normal or like safe, or I was very depressed. I went to my doctor at the VA and I told them, and they said that they could send me away, I'd have to go far, and who's going to take care of my kids, and it just wasn't realistic, and I couldn't do that to them. PTSD really hindered my relationship, my marriage. We weren't mature enough to deal with it like adults. We split up 2 years ago. We legally separated, and just because of the same issues. And for years I made jokes about I left part of my soul in the desert, and I don't feel like that anymore. The feeling that I have now with the therapy that I've been going through has really allowed me to open up to him, and we've recently gotten back together in the last month. I really feel that I'm in a better place now to be able to keep my family back together. I want nothing more. I can't even explain how much easier every day is. I would tell other veterans that are struggling with PTSD or traumatic brain injury that this could change their life.